We had some guest artists travel through my smaller town in the U.S., Missoula, Montana, if you want to look it up on the map. And some of them were kind of eye-opening, ear-opening. Rafael Mendez, Doc Severinsen. I didn't really hear too much world-class jazz playing until a little later when I went to the Eastman School of Music. But to backtrack a tiny bit, deciding to pursue trumpet, not necessarily as a profession, but just to continue as a main course of study, I was 10, 12 years old, and I just couldn't imagine anything else. Probably the reason was I was making positive growth fairly quickly, technically and a bit musically too, I guess, because I felt communication a lot with an audience. And people around, my band director, my dad, and a couple other people, they would conspire to create situations in which I was a soloist and things like that. Me, none the wiser for their trickery, but benefiting from all of it. And the jazz influence, as I said, came later at university. And then we had lots of guest artists, everybody from Dizzy Gillespie to Jerry Mulligan and Brubeck, and really a who's who, because it was a great music school in the east of the United States where it was touring and the big bands would come through. And I was overwhelmed with some of it because it's a monumental task to start jazz type playing when you're 17 or 18 years old. The best players had grown up with it in their house, had gone to clubs with their dad or mom, and heard the music live and had a fundamental understanding of what it was by ear and by feel, because that feel has to be absorbed. It can't be learned out of books or anything. But I jumped in with both feet and really liked it, and there was peer influence too. There's a great trumpet player named Vincent DiMartino who was important. There's a great trumpet player who's now a composer conductor named Jeff Tyzik, who was very influential. These gentlemen were not just jazz players, but peer influence was big for me. As far as a literal hero that I just followed around and took lessons from and kind of a lapdog type, I didn't really have anyone like that. I was taking it all in and trying to absorb as much as possible and putting in the time. But I'll tell you what, when you have a lot of feedback coming back that's positive, it energizes your work, as you know, in any field, right? I'm sure that it's the same in sport or business. When things are positively flowing your way in the way of energy and validation, more confidence comes, more experience comes, and it's a positive spiral up instead of